Today, we're going to dive into one of the most comforting and, frankly, one of the most baffling statements in all of mystical theology. It comes to us from the 14th century, a really dark time full of plague and turmoil, and yet it offers this promise of just profound peace. On the surface, it seems so simple, but the more you chew on it, the more you realize it's anything but. All shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. I mean, you can feel the hope in that, can't you? It's just an absolute statement of trust. But as beautiful as it sounds, it immediately brings up a pretty huge question. Exactly. How? How can that possibly be true? You just have to look around at the world, at our own lives, and you see so much pain, so much injustice, our own constant failings. This promise, it seems to fly in the face of reality. And that is the tension we're going to unpack today. Well, it turns out this very question is the engine that drives the medieval text we're looking at. Now, don't worry about trying to decipher the text on the slide. The point is that a mystic from centuries ago was grappling with this exact same problem, and their journey to find an answer is, well, it's pretty incredible. Okay, so the first step in getting our heads around this promise requires a total shift in perspective, a really radical one. We have to try and see our own failings not as we see them, but as this text claims, God sees them. The author has this huge revelation. They realize it would be wrong to blame God for their sin, because God doesn't even blame them. While we are completely fixated on our mistakes, the text suggests God is looking at something else entirely. You see, during a vision of Christ's passion, the author has this breakthrough. They realize that God's response to our flaws isn't anger or judgment. It's compassion for the pain that our flaws cause. The focus isn't on the mistake itself, but on the suffering that comes from it. Right, so if God's focus is on the suffering, then what even is sin? This question leads us to one of the most perplexing and maybe even controversial ideas in the whole text. This is a truly mind-bending concept. The author says that in their visions, they couldn't see sin, not because it was hidden, but because it's not a thing. It has no substance, no existence of its own. Think of it like a shadow. A shadow isn't a thing, it's just an absence of light. So, the text here it's dense, for sure, but the core idea is really powerful. The only way we even know sin exists is because we feel the pain it causes. It's like a void that you only recognize because of the suffering around its edges. I know, this is abstract stuff, but stick with me, because it's crucial for what's coming next. Now, the text is not trying to downplay the consequences of sin. Not at all. It fully acknowledges that the original sin was a catastrophe, the greatest harm that ever happened. But then it makes a pivot that is just so surprising. And there it is, the paradox. The solution, the redemption that came because of that greatest harm, somehow created a good that was even greater than how bad the original harm was. It's like a cosmic rebalancing act, but on a scale that's almost impossible to imagine. So this is the heart of it, right here. On one side, you have the ultimate negative, and on the other, a positive so huge that it completely outweighs it. So the question becomes, how do you hold both of those ideas in your head at the same time? How can they both be true? Well, believe it or not, the text gives us a way to live with this mystery. It suggests that God's wisdom actually comes to us in two different parts, and understanding that difference is the key. See, the author is told that there's one part of God's wisdom that is totally open and clear for us to see. But there's another part that's kept hidden, described as our Lord's private counsels. And that's where the answers to these impossible questions lie. So let's break that down. Part 1 is everything we need to know for our salvation. That's the good news. It's clear, it's open, and it's meant for us to celebrate. Part 2, though, that's where all the hows and the whys are kept, the stuff that's way beyond our pay grade. And our job, according to this text, isn't to try and figure it all out. It's simply to trust. This whole idea of a hidden truth leads us to the final, and I think most awe-inspiring piece of this entire puzzle. This is the ultimate reason why, in the end, all shall be well. The text talking about a future event, a great deed that God is going to perform at the very end of time. And this isn't just another thing that happens. It's presented as the absolute climax of all of history. And staying true to that theme of hidden knowledge, nobody knows what this deed is. No one knows how it will work. It's a total secret, known only to God. This is where faith becomes the ultimate act of trust, right? But we are told its purpose, and this is everything.
The same creative power that brought the entire universe into existence out of absolutely nothing will perform one final creative act to fix everything that is broken, to make right all that is not well.
And there's the final guarantee. It's not about explaining away our suffering now. It's about promising a final, definite, absolute resolution later. The text itself lays out this ultimate promise that everything will be reconciled. And with that, we circle all the way back to the beginning. That phrase, all shall be well, isn't a denial of the pain we feel right now. It's a radical declaration of faith in a future hidden promise. It's a complete trust in this final great deed.
And so that really leaves us with a question to sit with. For the author of this text, and for us today, it all seems to boil down to this. What does it truly mean to place your hope not in what you can see and understand right now, but in a promise whose fulfillment lies completely beyond your sight? It's a question that hits just as hard today as it did back in the 14th century.